morning, everyone. Welcome to Delta Talk Show. So, with me, I'm your host, Parasmita. We have an absolutely fantastic show lined up for today. We're going to dive into the world of English major, and I've got three incredibly and insightful guests here, joining me on the chair. First up, she's a translator, Miss Dzikra. And the next, she is an internet influencer, Miss Tasnim. And the last one, she is an English major student have an experience being MC. Please welcome the inspiring Miss Liza. So, welcome everyone here. It's great to have you all here. We have so much to discuss, and so without further ado, let's jump right in.
Yeah, initially I tried to translating movies without companies such as horror movies, cartoon, and I also translated anime from Japanese to English. And after a year, I tried to working at a book printing company while continuing my previous activity. And then after about 5 years, uh, I decided to become an interpreter at concert and fan meetings, and I'm very grateful because I can meet many artists in there. Of course, I faced several difficulties. First of all, I had a little difficulty at trying to understand the context because in a different circumstance, the word used would also be different. And then I also had difficulty at time management. When I working at a book printing company, the deadline were very tight, while the book printed so money were very money, and I was almost stressed at that time. But as time went by, I started to get used to it.
That was very tiring, but nice. At least you have a job. Now, Miss Tasnim, I'm curious, are there any difficulties or hardships while being an internet influencer? Do you feel that your English major is kind of felt like a conflict with your job now?
Absolutely not. English is very useful for my job as a content creator. As a content creator, of course, I make online content such as making videos, writing captions, and short posts for my social media. What I really love about this job is how creative the job is. And surprisingly, being an English major is really helpful to me because English gives me strong communication and working skills, which are really useful for me to tell stories to others, writing captions, and interacting to my international audiences. But of course, being a content creator is not always easy. One of the biggest challenge is keeping consistency. Why? Because as we know, trends keep on changing and we have to keep up with the new trends and always have the new ideas each time. And also, for a beginner content creator, it's pretty hard to have an audience at first because there's a lot of competition of that. But that's where the English skills really help. When I write in English, it can reach more people, collaborate more internationally, and make my content stand out. I think many people still believe that English major can only become English, right? Well, actually no, English opens more doors, especially in this digital era. So as long as you study your soft skill in digital way, such as copywriting, script writer, or at least become an author.
That's so. Being an influencer needs some high concentration, right? And the last question for Miss Liza: are there any other opportunities that exist in your opinion from your experience for being MC?
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for the questions. For my personal experience, I think the other opportunity for English student and English graduate are working as MC, host, or moderator. Because we know that English has a very large range of job opportunities. So being an English student and English graduate have a lot of opportunities for us to have a job, such as host, moderator, and MC, as I said before. So the thing is that because in international fair or international conference, we know that English is being used, right? So us, English student and English graduate, already learn on how to speak in formal settings. So that would be a great things to do as MC, as a moderator, because we already learn on how to talk in formal setting as a part of our curriculum in our campus. Um, that help us as a part in that opportunities in that job, because you know that in the formal settings we had to talk in clear pronunciation. It must be loud, clear, and can be understood by the audience, right? So the next thing is also that we English student, English graduate already learn on our listening skill. We already improve that. And in international affairs or conference, people talk in different dialect or accent. They talk in English, but they have different accent and dialect, right? So us English students have already improved our listening skills. So even though they talk in different dialect or accent, we understand what they are talking about. In international fairs or international conference, people talk in different dialect or accent, right? Even though they talk in English, they have different dialect and accent. Not everyone talk in the same dialect or accent. And as English students, we already learn how to listen about the dialect and accent that they have, right? Because we already done a lot of exercise. So because of that, we know what they are talking about, and we can interpret that and clear that to the audience on what they are talking about. So we know how to take conclusion on what the guests are talking about, so that we can explain that to the audience more, so the audience can understand fully what the guests are talking about. I think that is the opportunities for English student and English graduate can do, and I think that is a very useful skill our English student have, right? So that's it for my personal experience.
I see. So being an MC is also like facing the, how to say, the high consequence. Also like
Yes,
kind of like
yes.
that. We need to learn about their pronunciation, like
Yes.
grammar, or maybe how they spelling.
Mystic
So
word.
wow, it turns out that English major is not only for talk to a stranger or the foreigner, but we can conclude that a strong command of English is a significant career asset, directly enhancing job performance, opening up the global opportunities, whether in event moderation, digital context creation, or maybe specialist roles like the translation, uh, where proficiency is a key to overcoming challenge like complex context and tight requirements. Well, our time has simply flown by. We have had a blessed talk to Ms. Dzikra, Ms. Tasnim, and Ms. Liza about futures of English major. That's all for today. Thank you for your attention and thanks for watching us. Don't forget to stay tuned in BBC channels. Delta Talk Show is always at Sundays afternoon. Alright, see you the next week and bye bye.
From Japanese to Indonesia to English also.
Ulang.
Because of the